Of course, one myth about the 1950s which goes about is that fathers didn't have much to do with their young children, which is absolute rubbish as far as we're concerned. I mean, it's true that I didn't actually see our first child born, but that was because it was in Japan in a hospital, and they didn't allow it because apparently they'd had too many cases of fathers keeling over, stumbling into the sterilised equipment and all that stuff. But when our second child was born at home in Richmond, in England, in 1959, it was natural that I should be there and sort of helping Anne with her breathing and so on, because I've been to some of the classes and learnt about how to breathe with childbirth, and helped. And yes, daughters 2, 3 and 4, I was there.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't much more active, and for heaven's sake, I changed nappies and so on. Perfectly happy to do so right from the beginning.
Yeah, I thought I really liked Child Crying. That was one.
Shall I read that?
Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the first daughter, Emily. Yes, just when she'd. I suppose I wrote this because she was born in Japan. Emily was in 1957 in a hospital, as I say. But we took her home when she was flew home when she was 10 weeks. So yes, we're in Japan. This poem was written in Japan in 1957. Child Crying. My daughter cries, and I lift her from where she lies, carry her here and there, talk nonsense endlessly, and still she cries and cries in rage mindlessly. A trivial anguish found in every baby book, but at a fortnight old, a pink and frantic mound of appetites, each look scans unfamiliar ground. A name without a face becomes a creature, takes a creature's energies. Raging in my embrace, she takes the world and shakes each firm appointed place. No language blocks her way, oblique, loaded with tact. Hunger and pain are real, and in her blindness they are all she sees. The fact is what you cannot say. Our difference is that we gauge what each cry says, supply what need demands, or try to. All falls flat if cure is wrong, or guess leaves her still obdurate. So through uncertainties I carry her here and there, and feel her human heart, her human miseries, and in her language share her blind and trivial cries. Yes, this is called for, dedicated in fact to Emily, and this drawing on when she was 17, and Anne and I were driving back somewhere north of Norwich, back home in South Norfolk, and on the way picking up Emily, who'd been at a rock concert at University of East Anglia. So we'd fixed to call for her at UEA and bring her back, and this is what it's all about. Called for. Tonight we drive back late from talk and supper, across miles of unlit roads, flat field and fen, towards home. But on the way must make a detour and rescue you from what, half laughingly, we think of as your temporary world. Some group or other, all outlandishly named and rigged up in fancy dress and loud with adolescent grief. Well, we're too old for alien caperings like that. The road runs towards home and habit, milk and bed. That unborn child I locked up in neat stanzas survives in 2 or 3 anthologies, an effigy sealed off from chance or changes. Now I arrive near midnight, but too early to claim you 17 years afterwards. A darkened auditorium, lit fitfully by dizzy crimsons, pulsing and fading blues, through which electric howls and snarled out words isolate you, though only in my eyes, sitting among 300 sprawling bodies. Your pale face for a second looms up through the jerking filters, splatterings of colour, as if spawned by the music, red and blue, over and over. There, your face again, not seeing me, not seeing anything, distinct and separate, suddenly plain among so many others, strangers. Smoke lifts as from a winter field, obscuring all but your face, consuming as I look that child I gave protective rhetoric. Not just this place, the tribal lights, the passive communion of noise and being young, not just the strident music which I give no more than half an ear to, but the sense of drifting out into another plane beyond the one I move on, and moved once to bring you into being. That is why I falter as I call you by your name, claim you, as drifting up towards me now, you smile at me, ready for us to go.